to be able to just make a choice on your own and just be able to speak for yourself.
This one's wife. Harry, fuck him. This is all about me. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. I produced a video yesterday which basically told you that she doesn't give a shit about what's going on with Centre Barley because it's her week. And this has been reinforced by the latest output on her, yes, Instagram account. Yet again, taking to Instagram as a conduit to enable her to pursue the prime aims, this one's wife is pumping material out on a near daily basis. First of all, we got the post of her dancing in the kitchen, engaging in some kind of sorcery as she prances about to cauldrons. I have analysed that separately for you. And then further posts, which includes these. Take a look.
In love with Love Meghan right now.
What is that?
The new Meghan Markle / Meghan Duchess of Sussex show. Where she's also like Martha Stewart now. And she's created these things called flower sprinkles, which you apparently can put on anything that you want to eat. So Lizzie and I were like, we need to get in the flower sprinkles game. Like, Meghan is on to something that we don't know about. So Lizzie, for my rap gift, because we're rapping, I went into my trailer and there is a literal jar of flower sprinkles. Not only that, because Meghan is bomb with calligraphy, okay? Yeah. Meghan does her own calligraphy. Lizzie had her husband do the calligraphy on so it's a whole thing. So now it's like, we've started like a flower sprinkles gang. We're also trying to get on the show just so we can. It's like,
Meghan!
We're trying to get on the show. But it's unconventional because our movie is kind of about the apocalypse. So I'm like, Lizzie, wouldn't it be cool if me, you, and Julia went on her show to do doomsday prep?
Yeah. Or what would you prep for? Like, you know how Martha did like...
I'm really excited to announce the launch of my new brand. It's called As Ever. This is the prototype actually of my jam. It's really beautiful. You just let it open like this and voila. As Ever.
What have we got here? Well, more self-promotion by this one's wife as she frantically tries to get anybody that she can think of to promote her brand. These individuals naturally being used by her, not because she's friendly with them, but simply because she wants to utilize them for the purposes of promoting her brand so that she sells more, so she gains the residual benefit of money. The first clip comes from the Kelly Clarkson show, which this one's wife has taken as Brian Tyree Henry, who was unknown to me, but I understand him to be an actor, talks about how he likes the With Love Meghan show. Fair enough, he's allowed his opinion. And he's talking about the flower sprinkles and faux calligraphy as he espouses the virtues of the programme. And this one's wife posts this with, love this so much, special delivery coming in hot for you two gems. So basically, you speak favourably about my show, I'll send you something, which shows the bribery aspect of the manipulation that this one's wife is engaging in. She doesn't see it as a manipulation, she thinks she's just being nice, but because she's a narcissist, that's what it is. Speak favourably of me, you're painted white, I will reward you. She then states, thanks for the love of As Ever Official, spelt correctly this time, not official, and WLM on @Netflix. So she provides us with a clip where it's being spoken about, references Lizzie Olsen, who I also understand is an actress. I'm clearly not watching the films that they are in. And then we get another clip whereby I think the individual is Jeremiah Brent, who's referenced in the caption, who I understand is an interior designer, and Nate Berkus, another interior designer, and both of them are television personalities also. I think they've been on the Oprah show. And we see, yes, the keepsake box with a jar of spread inside of it, a teeny tiny jar of spread, which you'll probably get about 8 smears out of. And then, of course, you can stick a love note and some treasured items inside the keepsake box thereafter as a consequence of the beige box coming from the beige mind of this one's wife. Yet more shite that's produced by this woman. But it doesn't end there. There's a further post that comes where she states, before our launch for As Ever Official tomorrow, I can't go to sleep without giving a huge thanks to the fellas who've been with me on every creative endeavour over a decade. Plus, why you needed to put it on Instagram? Presumably they're in your bed with you. We know I love my girl squad. This is a woman who's in her 40s talking about a girl squad. But these boys, they're men. These boys have been part of my team for what feels like forever. At Jake Rosenberg, at Crying Makeup Man, Daniel Martin, and Made by Article. You have supported and believed in my creative vision, or fool them, since the TIG. And here we are all these years later creating magic in a different way. Yeah. Magic that didn't actually get anywhere through American Riviera Orchard, and now with what might well be the last roll of the dice as the Duchess of Industrial Beige pumps out As Ever. Thank you for being the best partners through thick and thin. My heart feels so full. Why, is your blood a little bit thick? You might want to start taking some apixaban to act as a thinner perhaps then. Once again, Instagram is being used for the pursuit of the prime aims, primarily with regard to the residual benefit of the brand of As Ever. But whilst all of this is going on, what's been happening with Harry? Well, we know that his much cherished charity, Centre Barley, is the subject of not only internal disarray, but allegations of bullying and harassment, counter-allegations of Dr. Sophie Chandauka using the race card. The charity's up in flames. Behaviours are being called out. But what does this one's wife do? Oh, she posts about what Brian Tyree Henry has to say and what Jeremiah Brent is doing with a jar of spread and thanking people on her Instagram. Where's the support for Harry? There isn't any. Do you know why? Because she doesn't care. I know some of you thought that she does give a shit about what's been going on at Centre Barley because of the impact it has upon her. And please understand, she doesn't. Yes, when it first manifests, it causes a concern for her because it's a threat to control. But her narcissism dispenses with it by either the second assertion of control, indirect, she moans about it to somebody, or she just goes into a position of withdrawal, ignores it, and ploughs on with what matters to her, which is the launch of As Ever. Now, some people might say, well, it's all planned. She's got to get on with it. You know, she's just got to gird her loins and get through it. But wait a moment. When it was the LA wildfires, the launch of her show was put back so that she could express apparent concern and solidarity with those that have lost their homes. And yet, here's someone who's even supposedly closer to her than people she'd never met who'd had their homes burnt down, her husband, and what's she doing? She's spending her time on Instagram. She's spending her time being photographed. She's spending her time hunting down reels of people talking about her and her product so she can then put that out on Instagram. She's spending her time thanking Crying Makeup Man. There's no solidarity for Harry. There's no hold everything, let's sort out this crisis. No, because she doesn't give a flying fuck about Harry. She doesn't concern herself with the woes of Harry. Centre Barley was only of any use when it allowed her to stroll into the middle of the polo players, talk about going for a five-way later on, and having a picture taken. Other than that, she doesn't care about it because it's nothing to do with her. It only matters when it presents her with an opportunity to pursue the prime aims. And once again, the fact that she's engaged in this self-promotion, the promotion of As Ever, that's all we've seen this week, that's what singularly matters to her, not the trials and tribulations of her husband. No, balls to him. He doesn't matter. And Harry, you really ought to be waking up to this. You really ought to be paying attention to the way that your wife is behaving. Rather than you whinge about losing a finger because of what's going on with Centre Barley, you ought to be considering, hang on a second, my charity's in a mess. I'm upset about that. And what does my wife do? post videos of people holding up jars of spread and talking about edible flowers and thanking crying makeup man. That's what she thinks of you, Harry. She doesn't, because you don't really matter. You, like everyone else around her, is an appliance that is to be used. And it's time you started waking up to that. Because once again, this one's wife demonstrates that it's all about her. And in this instance, even her husband is forgotten about. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for watching.